Hey guys, this is Austin, and this is the MacBook Pro project. So something that I've always been really interested in is the ridiculous resale of Macs. I mean, when you look at a PC versus a Mac, almost always the Mac holds its value for a lot longer, which is weird because even though the hardware is solid, a lot of times the actual operating system, the software support doesn't last that long. Case in point, take a look at a super old like Core 2 Duo Windows laptop. Odds are you can still throw a copy of Windows 10 on it and it will work fine. However, when it comes to Mac hardware, usually you've got 6 to 8 years of support and that's it. Now there are of course third-party tools to be able to sideload and kind of update a bunch of the drivers to still technically support a new operating system, but as far as I'm concerned, this is about the oldest Mac which is still supported, which gave me an idea. This is a mid-2012 MacBook Pro 13-inch. Now this is the 101 model, which was sold in Apple stores for quite a while, and for good reason. This still has all the ports, it still has the optical drive, it's pre-Retina. Now based on the listing, this is not exactly in the world's greatest shape. However, at $240, what I hope, especially with a few upgrades, is that I can get a MacBook which is actually still very usable even today. Yes, the good old days of MagSafe when you didn't have to kick your USB-C cable across the room. Oh, that's actually, Alright, well, it's definitely been well used. Okay, so the main problems here is that it's just dented, right? So there's a big scratch here, there's like a couple of major dents. It's certainly not a perfect looking MacBook, but I don't really care about that. What I want to do is just see if I can actually get a very usable MacBook, which is much cheaper than anything you can buy today. Now there are a bunch of reasons why this MacBook was sold in Apple stores for years and years beyond when it actually first came out. Now one of the big ones is the port selection. This guy has pretty much everything you might want, sort of like USB-C, I guess. I mean, we've got Thunderbolt 1, USB 3.0, SD card reader, we've got MagSafe, Gigabit Ethernet, there's even FireWire, and there's an optical drive. Open it up and you'll see the same great old school keyboard, and inside, this guy is actually properly upgradable. Now you might be wondering, why exactly a 7-year-old MacBook, which is not in great cosmetic shape, is still worth a full $240? Well, a big reason for that is that it is still upgradable. When you look at the general spec, I mean, it's still a Core i5, and especially once you throw a little bit more RAM and an SSD and stuff, it can be a properly modern machine. Contrast that with a brand new MacBook, which while it works great right now, it's obviously much faster, much more modern, but 3, 5, 7 years from now, this system really has nowhere to go. I can't add more RAM, I can't upgrade the SSD, there's really nothing about the system which I can do anything with in the future, which I think is going to hurt the resale, whereas a lot of the older Macs, especially the ones with the optical drives, actually have a fair bit of resale value even today. So now let's see if this actually works. I mean, that sounds good, although I don't know, I guess the optical drive was doing something. Okay, so we've got High Sierra, we can definitely upgrade that. 2.5 gigahertz Core i5, 4 gigs of RAM, as well as a 500 gigabyte hard drive. That touchpad's still so good. Okay, so we've got, 290 cycles. So the battery still does hold a charge. However, I do want to swap out the battery. I want to upgrade memory. I want to upgrade SSD. I want to see what we can do about that DVD drive. I legitimately think that by the end of this video, I will have a very usable computer. Hopefully a computer which is powerful enough to edit the video that I'm shooting right now, because I want to do it all on this guy. But first, I feel like I need to actually clean it up a little bit. It's nothing I can really do about the dents and the scratches, but at the very least I can get rid of some of this sort of grime, some of the, look, used laptops, kind of gross. So after some cleaning, the MacBook actually is looking pretty decent, so now it's time to open it up and start upgrading, as well as, well, probably dust it out. Now, as far as upgrades go, thankfully they are so much cheaper than they used to be. So for example, I was able to pick up 16 gigs of RAM, which technically this only supports 8, but I'm pretty sure 16 will work. And this was like $60. Same thing, I was able to grab a 500 gig SSD, which was around $55, $60. I was able to pick up a brand new battery, which hopefully should be, even though the one here is not bad, we might as well just swap it out. And the thing I'm really excited about is even though this shipped with a DVD drive, with a little bit of Frankenstein action, I think we actually can get a Blu-ray drive working inside the MacBook. Now the only thing that I want to upgrade that I can't right now is the Wi-Fi card. So there actually is a guy who custom builds Wi-Fi cards which are compatible with this MacBook, and it will give you not only Bluetooth 4.0, but importantly it will work with AirDrop. However, they're out of stock for the next couple months, so that might be an upgrade I do a little bit later. After removing a few screws and some tape, I have the top shell of the DVD super drive that was originally on our MacBook. We're going to need to transplant that onto this. So I'm following a tutorial I have linked in the description, but essentially this is a Blu-ray drive, which by all accounts should technically work inside macOS and fit, just with some minor modifications. Mostly I need to replace the metal shell with something that actually has the correct mounting holes for our MacBook. So time for a little more surgery. All right, so things are coming together. So the Blu-ray swap isn't the worst thing, but it's definitely the most challenging part. It ended up taking maybe like 25, 30 minutes. Now, however, we need to install the SSD, we need to put our 16 gigs of RAM in, throw the battery, and we actually should be good to start installing the wonderfully supported macOS Catalina. All right, so it's another day and the MacBook is finally done. So the only thing you missed is that I had to install Catalina by way of installing Mavericks first and then upgrading, but after like 45 minutes or so, it's up and running. I've got to say, it's actually surprisingly usable. Would you like to try the MacBook extravaganza that I have created?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I haven't used this body style in since, what, 2013? Obviously, it has the keyboard that everyone likes.
The keyboard they just brought back for the 16-inch?
Yeah, probably just a little more shallower, but
no, it's pretty much the exact same, I think.
Is it?
I think it's almost the same.
That's an interesting point. I would like to try the 16-inch MacBook and actually see how the...
Hey, wrong video. 2012 MacBook, that's where it's at.
Okay. I mean, the body style is pretty big, but it's not that bad. I mean, we still definitely see thicker laptops.
Well, the problem is that this, well, actually, not the problem. The advantage of this one is that I picked it up in fairly poor cosmetic condition, but it's just purely on the outside. So it's all dented up.
Oh, I see all that here.
But the thing is, the inside is fine. The keyboard's fine, trackpad.
This is totally clean. Like, I didn't see the front side of this. For now, like, you know, the bezels are kind of thick.
Yeah, and the screen's 1280 by 800, so it's not.
You can see pixels. You know, it's not perfect, but I mean, for $200.
Well, it's like a little like 230,
230, and then how much for the upgrades?
Realistically, I was trying to go a little bit overkill with this. If this was a system that I was trying to be a little bit more price sensitive with, I would not have done the Blu-ray drive. I probably wouldn't have done the battery, although that's a pretty decent upgrade. And realistically, 8 gigs of RAM would probably be fine here, which means that this actually would be a roughly $300 upgrade. For everything I've done here, it's a little less than $400.
Like, including buying the computer?
Including buying the computer, all the upgrades, the Blu-ray drive, everything. As you will be seeing here shortly, all the footage from the video has been imported to this MacBook. So this is 4K footage that I just shot, right? So, pull it up here. Obviously still on log, so it's not full quality, but...
Oh, it's playing back fine. This is 4K?
4K.
Oh, wow.
It's definitely slower than something like a current MacBook Air, but also I bought this thing for like a little over $200.
I actually just came back from an anime con, so I picked up so I just got a Blu-ray, listen to Bluebird. This is a DVD though. We'll pop into DVD first just to even see if it's working, which I don't like that. Assuming your tolerances are just a little off, I'm just gonna let this grind, because it is the one I don't care about.
This is bad. Where did you cut this part of the video out?
Nah, I think you get to live with your failure.
Okay, you know what? I will open this up. I'll figure it out. Let's. I have an edit to do. Don't look. Let me have some victory. Let me have some success here. I'm proud of my MacBook, even though that was probably this was not my finest idea here, I guess. My next challenge is to see if I can actually edit this entire video on this 13-inch MacBook. I actually think it's going to be doable. Cut to montage. Wait, no, wait. I shouldn't do any crazy effects because I don't think this thing can handle. Okay, so I've just spent the last 2 hours editing the video you're watching right now on the 13-inch MacBook. And you know what? Totally fine. Like, actually totally fine. So come take a look at this. So I've got my timeline here. So for reference, this is all 4K Sony footage coming off of an A7 III. But I'm playing back right now. You can see if I unplug my headphones. World's greatest shape. However, look at that. No problem. I can scrub, just nice and smooth. Now I am editing on the internal SSD that I installed, but you can see it is not really working hard at all. So obviously I don't have color and whatnot on here, but that's the last stage of any of my edits anyway. And real talk, as far as editing this like Sony footage goes, this feels almost as snappy as like a brand new MacBook, which is crazy to me. Now is it gonna be slower to render? Is it gonna be slower to export? definitely. But as far as being able to edit a 4K video, it works. I am so impressed with what we were able to do for just a few $100s. Now, is it the best looking MacBook? Definitely not. However, for light, even fairly intensive tasks, it does a good job. I mean, this, I don't know. I have always been a little bit skeptical about Mac resale value, but this video really kind of has opened my eyes to just how good even a 7-year-old MacBook can be. No wonder they sold these things for years and years after the rest of the non-Retina line was discontinued. Let's just not worry about the Blu-ray player. I'll fix that one later.
Please do.